Welcome back to my channel. Today I've done an everyday easy makeup look, maximum 5 to 10 minutes for college, work, uni, wherever really, just if you want to feel a little bit extra. So if you want to see how I've got this makeup look, then just keep watching. So let's get started. So I'm going to start with the Nars Pure Radiant Tinted Moisturiser. I'm in the shade Finland, which is, I think it's the lightest. It says light 1, unless there's a 0. I'm not sure whether there's any lighter than that. But when I bought this, I've bought this like countless times. It's probably like my fourth one. I think it is quite pricey. I'm pretty sure it's about £30, which is quite expensive for a tinted moisturiser, but a little goes a long way. Like for a tinted moisturiser, this was recommended to me, and I thought, I've tried loads of tinted moisturisers and the coverage is rubbish, and you end up using more because you try and make up for the fact that it's not as full coverage as you probably want, even though it is still a tinted moisturiser. This lasts for ages, and you'll see, like I've recommended this to so many people, and everybody who's tried it loves it, especially as it's SPF 30 as well, so it's great for summer as like an extra layer. So they did recommend, when I bought this the first time, to use your fingers. So, and I have used it with my hands and I've used it with brushes. I do actually find it's better when you do use your hands, so I do agree. So I've washed my hands, obviously, and I'm just going to put a teeny, it's like a pea-sized amount. Not a lot, really not a lot. And you'll see it does go a proper long way. So I just mix those with my hands, my fingertips, and I'll start popping that on. Obviously it's not full coverage, it is a lighter coverage, but I've tried a lot of like BB creams, CC creams, other tinted moisturisers. I've tried the Clinique one, which I did use when I went to France skiing a couple of years ago. This beats them all hands down. It's so good, and like I say, it does last a really long time. I probably buy this maybe 3 times a year, possibly not even that. I really, because you don't use that much at all, it lasts such a long time. Don't ask me why that using your hands makes a difference. I really don't know, but I don't know, I just feel like it sinks into the skin a lot better. So yeah, just do a really light layer of that. This is sort of like your skin but better, I always feel. Like it really doesn't seem like you've got anything on. Like I've had people say to me at work, like, oh, do you wear makeup? And I'm like, because I wear this and such minimal like other makeup compared to like a lot of people, it doesn't even look like you're wearing any. But I feel like my skin looks nicer, and yeah, I just feel a bit more put together. So that is the tinted moisturiser. You can add more if you wanted more. I'm not going to add any more. I'm just going to conceal any blemishes and things and move on. But yeah, highly recommend. For concealer, I'm going to go in with the Maybelline Instant Anti-Age Eraser. And I'm going to pop that under my eyes to brighten. I'm going to put quite a bit on because it's the morning. I'm on the late shift this week at work. Since coronavirus, we've gone on to shifts. Normally we're not on shifts. But normally when I'm on like the 6 AM shift, I'll put a lot more of this on because I'm so tired. But it's now about 10 o'clock now. And I'm not in until 12:30, so I don't really like the late shift, but oh well. So I'm going to use my ring fingers to blend this out. Normally I do use the concealer brush if I'm using. Normally I use my hands for like ease. It's quite quick, isn't it, and easy to just dab it in with your fingers. Sometimes I think like the warmth of your fingertips as well, like just helps it to like melt into the skin. That's the word I'm looking for, to melt into the skin. But obviously, even though I've washed my hands, like you do have natural oils like all the time. So if I was using a full coverage foundation and a different concealer, maybe I probably wouldn't use my fingers, just because it can help. I think it affects how they last, like in the long run kind of thing. So I'm just gonna pat that in with my fingers. Around my nose. I do get a bit of redness around my nose. Just a little bit. I'm just still holding this finger up. Does anybody do that? Catch themselves doing weird stuff when they're doing the makeup? Or is it just me? And then a little bit on the tops. Just under the brow bone. Help brighten that area. And then just bouncing it in. Sometimes I think like a brush can take away product. You know, if you're wiping it, I would always recommend patting concealer in to any areas that you want to cover, because you end up smearing the product away and you end up taking it away from the area that you need, rather than pushing it into the skin. It helps it last longer as well. But I think if your finger sort of helps with that patting process. Okay, I think that's it. Sometimes I'll miss a little bit, and then when I'm about to walk out the door, I'm like, oops, there'll be like a little blob of concealer. Because normally I am super fast at doing this, because I obviously do it every day. Little coffee. So nice. Always need coffee in the morning. Okay, so then I'm going to move on to the Honest Beauty blush. This is in Peony Pink. It's a cream blush and it's super nice. I'm going to use with this, I mean, I wouldn't trust myself using my fingers because I've never used my fingers with this. So I'm not going to start today. So I'm going to take I think it's the Expert Face Brush from, I think it is, Expert Face Brush from Real Techniques. And I just dab a few times in there and hit the top of my cheekbone. Well, the top of the apple of the cheek. And I love cream blush so much. It is unreal. I used to never wear blush and I don't know what I was thinking. Don't know what I was thinking. I think now that I'm like heading towards my late 20s, it's nice to have like a more, I mean obviously I'm not trying to say that I'm old, but it's nice to have a bit more freshness, more of a fresh look. I always hit the bridge of the nose as well. Ties everything in as well, I think. But yeah, I think it's more youthful than a powder blush. The next thing, I'm going to move on to the Charlotte Tilbury Filmstar Bronze and Glow bronzer and highlighter. So I'm just going to use the bronzer for now on a Benefit Hoola brush. I'm going to swirl that in, top off the excess, and then hit the top of the hollow of the cheekbones. Make sure this is nice and blended out. It's lovely, this. This is in light. I think they do a light and a light and dark, I'm assuming. Or light to medium, medium to dark, I think. But I got this at Christmas. I remember my dad was like, oh, what do you want for Christmas? And I was like, I would like some makeup, please. And I took this to the till and he was like, how much? I think it was like £60, which is steep. I would, it is expensive, but it's really nice. And it's not too dark, and it's got some like little, tiny bits of shimmer in there. The highlight's really nice for like a natural highlight. £60 a lot of money. £60 is a lot of money. So I'd probably, when I hit pan on this, which I'm sure I will, when I repurchase, I'll wait till there's like some sort of sale, because that's just, it is unreal that for, because I use this bronzer quite a lot, the Physicians Formula bronzer, and I think this was like £8 or something. And when you compare, like, how much is in there? 11 grams and 16 grams. So you actually get, for this would be 8 grams. This is 11 grams. The price difference is just unreal. But this is just as nice. But I do like the Charlotte Tilbury one. It is lovely. Okay, so not finished with the bronzer. I got sidetracked. A little bit more on the top of the forehead and under the chin. Create a bit more definition. And then a little bit of highlight. So I'm using the JH09 Morphe Jaclyn Hill brush. A little bit of the highlight. Hit the tops of the cheekbones with that. It's just such a lovely, that's not like, it's not blinding, but it really like, it's like that glow from within that everyone talks about. It really does, it's just a lovely shade, and it's just not too much for every day, because I wouldn't want to wear like a blinding highlight for work, you know what I mean? And I always hit the tip of the nose, bridge of the nose at the top, and then tiny bit on the Cupid's bow. And then what I sometimes do is take a small fluffy blending brush, eyeshadow brush, JH32 Morphe Jaclyn Hill, this one, and I'll just take a little bit of the bronzer just to tie everything together and hit that in the crease. Just keep it in the socket, just over a little bit of definition, and then a little bit on the outer corner. But that just ties everything together, and it just looks a little bit more than, and if you've got a little bit of time, which only takes like a minute to do, just gives the eyes a bit more shape and draws the attention to them. And that's it. Then I'm just going to grab, actually, I've got some new brushes. I've got some, I invested in the Unicorn Cosmetics brushes, the class of 86, I think it was, because I really wanted this teeny tiny brush that everyone bangs on about. I haven't yet tested it. Where's it gone? There. This teeny tiny brush. It's so cute, but it'd be really good for cut creases, I think. Not for doing the cut creases, but for blending in those brighter shades. I'm waiting on the new Morphe times Maddie, I don't remember her second name. Her eyeshadow palette is on the way, and I want to test these out when I do that. I think I'm going to do 3 looks, 1 palette. So I'm going to use the, when I can find it, just the small, these don't have names unfortunately, but this just like small flat brush. Any, to be honest, even using a blending brush for this would be fine. I'm going to pop a little bit of the highlighter shade and pat that onto the lid, and then same with the other eye. Doesn't have to be neat or anything, you're literally just drawing attention to the eye. And my boyfriend's making noise downstairs. What is he doing? Then for mascara, Maybelline Lash Sensational mascara, absolute fave. And I just go on the top lashes for this. I don't put tons on, because like I say, it's just an everyday, easy breezy. look, and it's only for work. I mean, to be fair, I do this on the weekend as well if I'm not doing anything. Just to give the eye a bit more definition. Okay, then the final thing, oh no, not the final thing, a few more steps. A little bit of the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish powder. I'm in the shade Fair, of course. And I'm going to take the Jaclyn Hill Morphe JH07 brush, pop a little bit of that under the eye, stop any creasing, and helps it last a bit longer as well. Oh, I'm pretty sure I just got some mascara in there. Hopefully not. Then a little bit around the nose and where we put the concealer in the crease of the nose. And then it's just to take any shine away, really. I don't put tons on, just a little bit. That's it. Then I'm going to do soap brows. I don't tend to fill in my brows because I've just dyed them, so I did have another video on that previously. So I'm just, and also a video on soap brows, so I'm just going to do this really quickly. Benefit Rehydrating Mist, a couple of spritz of that. You can just use water or any sort of water spray. Spoolie. Mix that in. Make sure it's not too wet. Make sure you don't have too much product on. And then lift them up. It smells so nice, this soap. It reminds me of my granny. She used to have a picture in her bathroom of like, it was like a little boy or something getting in the bath, like a really vintage looking picture. It was probably like a really old advert for Pears, but she used to have that in her bathroom. And she took it down and her bathroom never looked the same. It's really funny how like things like that remind you of people. And how a room doesn't look the same without it. Okay, I'm just lifting all those up, lifting all those hairs up, and just using the tip of the spoolie to pull all those hairs that are like out of the eyebrow line, just pulling them into shape, but all of the hairs that are actually in the brow are sticking up. Okay, so that's that for soap brows. Then the final thing, I'm going to use the MAC Faux, I think this is Satin. It's like a mauvey nude. I used this in one of my other videos. I'm just going to pat a little bit of that on. I don't use a lot, just a little bit. Just to give the lips a little bit of something. Sometimes I think like a stain would be nice with this kind of look. Then what I normally do is just, if I've got a foundation brush with like maybe a bit of product on it from like yesterday or something, I'll just bounce that over, or you can use the beauty blender. Just bounce that over any areas I think like need a bit of blending, because I like everything to look like there's no harsh lines. I'm really natural, you know? And that's the finished look. Normally, like I say, it does take me like 5 to 10 minutes to do this. When I'm on an early shift, I can literally do it in like 5 minutes flat, because I just shove it on. To be honest, it's usually a bit dark. It's quite dark at like 5 AM. So yeah, this is the finished look. Really easy breezy. Really would be really good for like college or uni, or just if, say you forget you're going somewhere and your boyfriend or your family member, whoever you live with, is like, we need to go now. You can just do this really quickly, you know, and you can feel put together. It'd be really good for lots of occasions, really, where you don't want to put in too much effort, but you still want to look put together. I hope you enjoyed this video and this everyday makeup look. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hit like, subscribe, all those things, and I'll see you again soon for another one. Bye.